I'm Ruth, and today we're going to work on pronunciation. So it's something a little bit different. One of the hardest speech sounds or phonemes that we have in English. So I am expecting to do 2, 3, maybe even 4 videos to guide you through the process of learning to say ah. My name, Ruth, is probably one of the hardest for non-native English speakers to say. Listen to it again, Ruth. So I've got the R at the beginning, which can be troublesome, and the th at the end. There we go. That's it. Gives you lots of practice when you join the channel. So I'm going to introduce a little bit and start to help you think about how you say it and how you can change your pronunciation. So let me have a look what we're doing first. Going to be one of those where I share my screen. So its proper name would be R, and the sound it makes is R. So R for Ruth. And it's hard. I'm going to show you this once, but we'll keep coming back to it. So your tongue in your mouth is pulled back. And the way I like to explain it is that the sides of your tongue are almost in a groove and they touch the teeth, the back of the teeth. Okay? The sides of your tongue are pushed, braced is the word that's been used here, against the teeth. Your tongue feels quite tight for English. English tends to be quite loose and relaxed, but R is a tense sound. Okay, so I'm thinking about my mouth now, and I'm thinking about the back sides of my tongue, and they're against the teeth, the molar teeth. Sometimes for those of you who have advanced vocabulary, at the back of my mouth. And it's a R, R, R. The tongue tip tends to be at the top, at the front. My experience is that people will tell you to think about your tongue tip, but what makes the difference is actually the back, and that pushing your sides of the back of the tongue against the teeth. There's the diagram using technical terms. So for those of you who love phonetics, the tip of the tongue is near the alveolar ridge, which is just behind your front top teeth. Okay. But what I'm telling you is think about the back. There are lots of different R's, lots of different R's. In Italian and in Spanish, we have the trilled Ruth, that sort of sound. Barolo, Barolo wine, for example. In French, in history, there was a trilled R. Now it's very much of a back, gargly R sound. Nothing at all like the English R. In parts of Great Britain, parts of the Anglophone world, R is used differently. So in Scottish, in the Scots accent, you will hear the same R as you would hear in Spanish or in Italian. Ruth, Ruth. Okay? And in some accents in Ireland, Northern Ireland, you would hear a R. And again, in English from the United States, and there are many, many, many accents and dialects of English across the United States, and also Canada, Australia, New Zealand, all the English-speaking countries. But let's think about the United States for the moment. R is used much more than it is in English, UK, United Kingdom English. So my accent is what's called a non-rhotic accent. There are fewer R's. I don't have the same number of R's as somebody from, let's think of somewhere, Iowa, for example. And I and people in England often drop the R in the middle or the end of words. So I don't say car, I say car. I'll say that again. Listen to the difference. I don't say car, I say car. I don't say teacher, teacher. I say teacher. There is no R. I've dropped it. Teacher. Okay. So in my accent, it's a little different. I would suggest that you have a British UK accent if you struggle with R, because it's so much easier, because we don't use it the same way as accents across the Atlantic. I've put a link up for you to look at, which is an example of somebody speaking using the R with a Scottish accent. Okay. I'm going to give some examples of words here, and all I want you to do is listen. I don't want you to say these at all, and I want you to listen. These are words where I do use an R in the middle. Oh no, these are the words where I don't. So here we are. So earphone, I don't say the R. Airplane, aeroplane. Archie, Archie, I don't say the R. Ornament, I do the vowel ornament. There's no R. Ireland, I do a Ireland. There's no R. Carpet, the same. Butterfly, butterfly, no R. Parachute, there is one in there. Parachute. Put that one on the wrong list. Hamburger, no R. Bird, I don't say bird. Bird. Bear, pear, paw. I think of them as my Ernie words. Ernie. I rather like Sesame Street, so I remember Ernie. But I would say Ernie. There's no R. Ernie. 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 So if you can get the hang of this, your life and your English will be much easier. So let's go back to trying to make that sound. What I'm going to ask you to do is to go off and listen to it. Watch other YouTube videos. There are people who've got ideas, but I'm going to talk through what I did earlier in the program and then a sliding back technique, which may help some of you. So when you make your r sound, you are thinking about the sides of your tongue being against your back teeth and the tongue tip being up in the mouth here. R, r, r. Okay. When I work on that with children in a speech therapy content, we sometimes call it the growly dog sound because it's r, 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 r. Okay, there we are. I'm going to share my screen again and find a technique which is called the gliding back technique. So let me just find that and then I'll talk you through it. So here we are. There are lots of tips and techniques, but this one is quite useful. It's called sliding from U to R. Now, U can be a different sound, a difficult sound. L can be a difficult sound. And indeed, I'll do a program on that in the future. But I'm assuming you can do a good L, sound. So put the tongue tip up to the alveolar ridge. So just behind your top teeth. Oh, okay. And I want you to say, oh, you do it with me. So no, you can close the door and do this on your own if anybody else is listening. But let's do that. Oh, hold the tip of the tongue high and keep saying the sound with your mouth wide open. So I'm going to demonstrate that. Oh, okay. Keep it going while sliding your tongue tip back along the top of your mouth, along your palate. So listening to me doing that now. Oh, okay, did you hear it change? Let's do that again. Oh, oh, oh. So if you start with a sound and glide your tongue along the roof, the top of your mouth, what's called your palate, back, at some point you will get a R sound. Hold your tongue quite tightly, quite tensely. Okay, watch me again. Ooh, r, ooh, r, ooh, r, ooh, r. Okay, so I've gone to that sound, Ruth. Okay, I say, have a go at doing it. You will get there. It's a combination of listening, working out where it comes in words, and having a go. But that all slide into R technique can be very, very useful indeed. Now, that's the end of our first R lesson. Next time, I'll take you through adding vowels and starting to say words. Words like red, rabbit, and Ruth. But we're going to take this slowly. The first thing is for you to get near to it. Not all English speakers get near to it. There is a very famous English TV presenter who doesn't say r, but says v. So instead of saying Ruth, they'd say Ruth, Ruth, Ruth. Really. And it's the longest, most difficult speech sound for English children. On the chart where we have the age that children develop speech sounds, R can be as late as age 7. And that's surprising. So it's hard. And it's a complicated one because some people don't even think it's a consonant. They say it should be thought of as part vowel. And indeed, in some American words, there is no contact with the teeth. It does feel like a vowel. So we are learning the UK British accent where there are far fewer R sounds, but you do have to know it. So that's all for today. Look forward to working on you with you in the future on confidence in saying R. As always, put your comments in the under the video and I'll do my best to answer them. And look after yourself and see you next time when, of course, you will have subscribed to the channel. All right, take care. Bye.